Hi, everybody. Good morning if it's morning to you. Good evening if it's evening to you. This is going to be partly a show off of the Japanese rice bag that I just finished. It's going to be a haul / treasure hunt video as well. And I will explain that in a moment. So first, to start with the Japanese rice bag that I made, that's the lining of it. This is the one that I use the interfacing on. I won't do that again. It's very pliable and soft. I prefer the quilt batting inside much, much more. Not that there's anything wrong with this, and I did think about lining the lining using interfacing on the lining as well to make it stiffer, but I didn't want it stiff. I still want it pliable, and the quilt batting allows me to do that. So these are the sides, and I have the camera way up high for me to be able to show off some of my stuff. Now this is the beaded flower, and I don't know if the camera and the light is going to pick up just how much I beaded this flower. So I'm going to bring it up quite close. It helps if the light is over here. So I hope you can see how much I beaded it, but I really beaded the living daylights out of this flower, and that was fun. My thumbs were not happy with me, though, I will say that. And then this is the first side that I put together. No, that's the third side I put together. That was the second side, the dress, and that's the bottom. And I made my tabs too large, so I ended up having to fold them over. I don't know when I'll learn that I don't need tabs this tall on the bag this size. And so I folded them over, and there's actually 4 layers of fabric here now. And let me find a side that it shows on well. I used my sewing machine. I have a fancy sewing machine, and I did some the embroidery stitch that the sewing machine has, and I wanted it to be subtle on the outside, but you can also see it on the inside, and they're little flowers. And this fabric is the vintage fabric. It's from 1999. I think that's vintage. I don't know. Maybe not. I call it vintage, but it's so soft. It's very thin. It's not a bed sheet. It is actual yardage because the selvage edge is still on the yardage, but it's from 1999. And it's just a lovely fabric. I have it over here that you'll see in a minute as well. So that is my finished Japanese rice bag. I'm pretty happy with it. I used the twill that I got on sale at Hobby Lobby about a week ago. I used that for the drawstrings, and I think it matches pretty well. And I don't love the way this closes. And I think that has to do with the interfacing instead of the quilt batting. So, yeah, I don't love the way it closes, but hey, it's a workable, usable, either storage tote and just leave it wide open like this, or it's a usable project bag. And that's why I make them, because I'm using them as project bags. Okay, now on to the treasure hunt stuff. I think I am going to participate in the Roxy Creations Treasure Hunt Volume 4 of the Stitchery. Roxy Creations Stitchery, whatever they're calling it. I can't remember off the top of my head because I've only been awake for a few minutes. Well, it's been an hour and a half. It's been about 2 hours, but still. It takes me a while during the day to wake up. So on Saturday, we went to a community market that our community had. It's the first time they've held it. It was mostly yard sale stuff, a few new things, a few crafted things, mostly yard sale stuff. So the minute we walked to the very front of it, there was a young lady who had some fabric down on the ground, sitting on a step stool, a little footstool, which was adorable. I thought about getting it. But she had these fabrics. Now, this is not in the best shape. This is stained and it needs, I'm going to wash it. But look at all the little flowers I can cut out from this. I hope you can see that. I'm going to move you in a little closer. Close your eyes. Okay, open your eyes. Oop, sorry, I told you too soon. Okay, you're good. You can open your eyes. Look at all the little flowers I can cut out from that and use. You know, I needed another one of these, like a hole in the head. Look at that edging. Isn't that pretty? Now, she said a lot of these were from overseas. A lot of her fabrics that she had. She only had a bundle of maybe 6 or 7 pieces of fabric. But yeah, I really like this. I'll lay it here. I think you can see it better that way. And even this, you know, if I cut this out around the edge, that would be really pretty with, you know, whatever fabric I put behind it. So, and it's definitely very large. So this would be a table topper, I would say. I don't know. I mean, I think it's square. It looks to me. And it needs to be washed. And some of it could be dyed. So I thought that was a really nice bundle. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to clean it up and see how badly it's stained and then put it on my kitchen table, because my kitchen table is this weird square shape, but it's got really rounded edges that would fit perfectly over the top. So yeah, my brain is always working in 10 different directions. Then there was this piece. And I'll tell you, I would hate to cut this up, I think. This is obviously crocheted on the outside, and this is embroidered, but I'm pretty sure it's machine embroidered. It doesn't look like it's hand embroidered because it's got the stitches connecting it, and then it's kind of like the embroidery I did on the edge of the Japanese rice bag. So, you know, I mean, it could be cut up. Like this could be separated from the outside, and then these could be used as, you know, I could cut them here and here and use them. So I got that. And I also got this, which again needs washing, possibly dyeing, because there are parts of it that are really stained. But look at these flowers. I really like those. And then the big one in the middle. And then all of the flowers around the edges. So I thought that would be really great to cut up, because it is, yeah, I haven't washed or dried them yet or ironed them or anything else. So that's what I got, and she was taking offers. She wasn't asking a price, so I offered her $10. I think I got that stuff for a steal for $10. So then, because we were having fun Oh, no. Hold. Okay, item rescued. Because we were having fun treasure hunting, we went to a little, it's called Minuteman Mall in Culpeper, Virginia. And it's just as you enter off of Route 29. So we went in there. Actually, Tony needed to use the restroom. But they have, it's a building where people take vintage and antique, couldn't think of the word, sorry, antique items, furniture, kitchen items, clothing, anything like that. There's also some new stuff there too, I will tell you that. But I started wandering around while Tony was using the restroom. So, yeah, of course I found some things. So I found a jar of buttons. It says vintage buttons, and I paid $4. And I got the jar to boot. The other ones they had were plastic jars, little plastic containers. This was the only one in a little jar. So look at that button on top. I didn't even open it and see that. I could not see that from the outside. But there's some interesting buttons in here. I took the one with the most buttons in this color. Oh, that's interesting. That's like a shell. Ooh, it needs to be cleaned up though. If anybody knows how to clean buttons like this, let me know. But I wanted the buttons that are like, let's see if I can get them out now. This type of button. Now, I don't have any buttons from like my mom or my grandma, my Nana, anybody like that. Look at those. Aren't those pretty? Let me zoom in. I have to zoom in the camera instead of putting it closer because of the light. Those are cool, but they're teeny. I mean, that's my fingernail. So yeah, I thought that was, whoops, pretty much a steal because there was someone else. Now these big ones I'm not so crazy about, but hey, there was someone else selling buttons and they wanted a lot of money for them. And so, yeah. And all I have, like I have a lot of plastic buttons. Like I like those. And there's a big, look at that big clear one. That's interesting. It's got something in the center. Some sort of etching. Interesting. Looks like it got melted at some point. Oh, that's something sticky. Anyway, yeah, I thought this was interesting. These remind me of the buttons almost. Now, I was going to say that my husband used to have on his uniform, but not quite. Same color. That OD green. So there's that. That's an interesting one. I thought for $4, I couldn't go wrong, even if some of them I don't use. And look, I can barely get them all back in again. I don't know how she did it. I'm assuming it was a she. So all these people have all these booths in there. I really like that button. And they pay every month to have the booth. They don't man the booths. They just have these booths. So in the same booth, she had these, I'm going to zoom you back out again. Okay. She had these spindles, and these are used with spinning wheels. And when you spin yarn, I have a spinning wheel, and I used to spin wool, but I never spun cotton because it's hard to do. But this thread, I'm hoping it's strong enough that I can stitch with it. And it's variegated. Look, Christine, it's variegated. So you know I couldn't leave that one behind. But this lady wanted $4 for these. I have no idea where the beginning of this thread is. I guess it's right there where it's tied. Yeah, that must be it right there. She only wanted $4 for these each with the thread on them. There was a lady that had them for $10 or $12 and in a different booth. And like I said, these people aren't there. So they're not manning it. And this is also a very strong cotton thread, which I think I could stitch with. I'm going to try it. I think it depends on what I were to stitch with it, but I'm probably going to wind these off maybe at some point, not right away, onto card. That's a lot of thread. I mean, this is a lot of thread right there. So these were used on big looms to make clothing in mills. That's what those are for. Okay, so then she also had these fabrics, $4. And this is 3/4 of a yard. And it's blue with little hearts on it. Can you see the hearts? Yeah, it's got hearts on it. And this fabric, I mean, when I touch it, it's like so soft. I just don't know how to describe it to you. It's got to be cotton. But again, it's a yard for $4. I mean, I want to take this off because there is a selvage, I think, on it. Oh, maybe not. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Even the back is interesting. It's almost like a flannel. That's what it feels like a flannel. I thought there was a selvage on it. Well, there is. But it's not printed with anything. Darn. Anyway, it's really soft. It's just yummy. So I had to get that because, again, I've been kicking myself because I don't have enough blue. And this has blue in it. So that's what it is. It's flannel. Well, you know, the soft, cushy thing got to me. So that's why I ended up with that. So I thought that was pretty good. I spent $18.95. So Robin, this haul was on you. Thank you very much for my birthday gift. And that's what I got with it. So, there was all of that. So that was Saturday's haul. Now, as far as the treasure hunt goes, I'm like, do I need to pull out stuff that I have left over now? I'm kicking myself because I got rid of some things that my brother had left behind. And I thought, I'm never going to use these for anything. And this was only like a couple of months ago that I did this, because I've been spending a lot of time trying to downsize. Well, and I'm going to raise this up just a little bit. There you go. Sorry, my finger got in there. My brother had this little chest, and that looks exactly like a treasure chest. So I think whatever I'm going to make, it will probably... I'm looking out my window, and there are two bluebirds in a branch staring right at me. And off they go. Well, thanks for visiting, guys. That was beautiful. Again, I need to clean this up, but I think maybe whatever I make, I might try to fit inside. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work for this project or not, but wouldn't that be neat? And then these are some rocks. My brother lived in Old Orchard. He lived in Maine most of his adult life until he made the mistake of moving to Florida. But anyway, and I went and got, back in 2018, we took a trip up there, and I got these little things off the beach up at Kennebunk. He lived in Kennebunk for a while. He lived in Old Orchard. He lived in Brunswick. He lived in all of those places, and now I can't get them back in. And there's a bit of shell. I love that shell. It's blue. And another shell. So, yeah. This is stuff that I picked up off the beach there. And that's back when we had our dogs. And Tony stayed with the dogs up while I walked the beach. Tony is not exactly a beachcomber, but my brother was, and I am. If I could go to the beach every other day, I'd be happy. So I don't know if I could incorporate those in some way. There's also a little teeny tiny piece of driftwood. So those are special to me. And then my brother also had some coconut type jewelry, I think it is. I think these are coconut. I don't know. But I took them off the strings, and I have them here. So I have these little wooden beads and these sort of round, flat beads. So I could use those. And then I do have some things that I kept from my mom. My parents and I were not real close. I was way closer to this brother than anybody else in the family at the time. So yeah, there's some history there that's not my fondest years, but it's okay. So my mother kept all of these metals that are, I'll zoom in again. Oops. All right, close your eyes. I'm going to move you. Okay, open your eyes. These are Catholic related metals. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. But there's also, I don't know, I think that might have been from my dad's uniform. I'm not 100% sure. So there's that. And there's this heart that is not religious. I am not a religious person. I really like that. And of course it's a heart. And there's this. I don't know who that is. I'm not sure who that's a picture of, to be honest. It might be a family member. There's this with a ship on it. And since I love the ocean, I would use that. And I don't think I would use any of these because I'm not a religious person. I am a spiritual person. And that, again, might be something from my dad. I'm not sure. So yeah, there's a lot of this stuff in there. But I'm not prone to the thought of using that, but I might use these. So I'm going to put those in my little treasure chest. If nothing else, maybe I'll just store the small things in the treasure chest from my brother, and I will be able to do that, even if I can't make it. Now, these are some pins that I've had for years. Back when these things were, you know, around. Now, I think some of these were my mom's as well. I really like that one. Her name was Rose. So I'm going to put that in there. And there's a horseshoe, a star, an arrow, and of course a heart. So I think I'll put the heart in there as well. And these will go back in the box and go back from whence they came, which is a jewelry box. I wear no jewelry anymore. I wear nothing. And I have a whole jewelry box of jewelry that has either been bought for me, I bought, or I made. So you all know my love of hearts. And these are some charms that I have. These are actually supposed to be clasps, but, you know, hearts. So I think I am going to put these in there in case I want to add them into the jewelry, into the treasure box. I also have always made dream catchers, and I bought this and never used it for anything. So I'm going to put my dream catcher in there. I think this may get used in a different project. And then I do have a ring from my brother that is just a ring. It fits sort of kind of, but loosely on my pinky. It sort of fits on that finger if my fingers don't swell. This is first thing in the morning. So it does sort of fit there. I could keep it, but I don't wear jewelry much anymore. I have 3 other rings from him as well. So I may use this in the piece as well. So that's going into the little treasure box also. And then, of course, I'm running out of space to put these things without them falling all over. Okay. And then I have some pieces. Let me zoom you back out again because we're going big. Oop. Stay up. Sorry. Oh my gosh. My phone holder is trying to collapse on me. Okay. I have some other pieces here. Now, this is the fabric that I used in the lining of the Japanese rice bag, and I really like it. It's a very soft cotton, and it does have, like I said, it says $19.99 on the selvage. 100% cotton, $19.99. So I think I'm going to pull things that I really love out and just go with that theme. This is some indigo dyed lace or crocheted lace that I did at the class. These are some vintage looking hankies. I don't know from what era, and I did not get to dye them. So I may, use either bits of these or use one as, this one's pretty large. I could use this as a base for what I'm working on, because when I'm done, I could fold it up and put it in that treasure box. But it is stained. It's been washed several times. It is stained, and I could potentially do some dyeing and dye it. But if I cover it with things and maybe left this corner sitting, surround it with stuff, but leave it sitting open, it might be very pretty to use as the base. And it is quite large. I'd say it's about a foot, about 12 by 12 maybe, 12 by 14. Well, we have a ruler. We don't have to guess. We have a ruler. So with the lace, it's 15.5 one way. I don't think it's that size the other way. Oh, look at that. I'm wrong. It's 16 that way. Maybe it's 16 by 16 and that edge is just, let's try this again. Yeah, it's about 16 by 16, so I was off. It's almost a 1.5 feet. So that's a pretty good size, and I could use that for the base. I'm just not sure what direction we're going in, but that wouldn't be a bad base, and this is the first time that I've realized that. So there's those there, and then this is another one like the first one I showed. Similar. So there's that. And these I got from Artistic Artifacts in the package I bought from them. Then I have some fabrics that are sort of favorites. I have this butterfly fabric that I got when I was making journals. And I have to put some butterflies in there, right? So I have more of this, I think, downstairs. I hope I have more of this downstairs. Or I may have a coordinating fabric that goes with it. I also have this fabric from way back when. This is at least 20 years old, I'm pretty sure. And I really like it. It's got pink roses and little beige flowers on it. And let's see. I love this. This is not old fabric, but it reminds me of old fabric. I love it. And I just love the little dark pink and light pink and green on this beige background. I've actually bought yardage of this 2 different times because I love it that much. This is one of quite a few. I think they're napkins or placemats, and I got them from someone who wanted to give them to people who would use them. I have more of these put away somewhere in my fabric stash. I will hunt them down. I hope I have more of them, because one of these, a whole one, now I've cut into this one, but a whole one would also make a really nice base, because this is definitely linen. And these were, I guess her mother-in-law used to have a company that made these. I think that's the way I remember it. Anyway, I've wanted to contact that person and see if she had more, but this was before the pandemic started, so this is over 3 years ago. So I don't know if she'd even have kept any more of those. I also have ribbon, and I wanted to use this ribbon on the Japanese rice bag as the ties, but this one was not long enough. That one's only that long, and this one's like twice that. So I couldn't do that. So I might use that in here. And then I also have the dyed crocheted lace that I did when I went to the class. And I have the beige. And yeah, so I'm going to pull more stuff because I think that's the direction I'm going. I don't know if I want to like head towards the blues, head towards blue and white, head towards beige, or the other thing that I'm thinking is, because I love my hand-dyed stuff so much, I'm going to raise you up again. Close your eyes. I know this has been a roller coaster. I'm sorry. I apologize. But this arm does not want to stay. Oh my gosh. Why are you leaning? Oh my goodness. Okay, open your eyes. Okay. I have this bin, and it's all hand-dyed. Not all hand-dyed by me. Some of this I did buy from Artistic Artifacts. This, I think, came from a friend of mine in California. Some of it was pre-dyed by Artistic Artifacts. This one I think I got from them, yeah. This is some of my hand-dyed, a friend hand-dyed. I just have so much hand-dyed fabric because I did this. That's mine. That was done at Artistic Artifacts. This I bought from them, pre-done by them. I just have so much, that's mine, that I think that I would like to do something with my hand-dyed fabrics. Now, saying that, I have lots of blues that I could join in with that. This was another bundle I bought from Artistic Artifacts. I don't even know if you can see it all, but anyway, that whole bin is dyed fabric, not commercially dyed. So I could potentially do that as well, do a project with the hand-dyed fabrics, but I'm really leaning towards probably using what's in here and maybe going down the blue, white, beige route. I don't know. What do you think? I'm going to do what I think will make me happy, of course, but that's my start on this project. I also am going to be doing another project, so I have to pull all those colors together, and that's going to take me a little bit. That may take me a couple of days to work on and figure out, because, you know, we have life in between. Like yesterday, we went to go see our horse, and we got there, and he had some injuries and some boo-boos. So we had to spend an hour just taking care of his boo-boos, and then we let him go out and eat grass and stuff, and then we left, and we were only planning on being there, gone maybe 2 hours, well, 2.5 hours altogether, because it takes 45 minutes to get there and 45 minutes back. Then on the way home, I had to run some errands. So, and tomorrow's our anniversary, so we're going out for lunch. So I have a life too. So putting these videos together, I don't stay up all night doing it. I sleep at night. I have years and years of sleep I'm catching up on. So, yeah, there's a lot going on, and I also have some other things that I need to take care of. So, yeah, I'm trying to pull this project together, and I want to pull the other project together because this doesn't start until July, and I haven't done the other Roxy Creation stitch alongs. So, videos will probably not be coming out every day anymore, but I hope you'll stay with me and look for the videos that I do get out that will have to do with this project and will have to do with my next new project, which hopefully won't take me that long to pull together. So I hope you all have a really wonderful day. I really appreciate you being here as always. I love you all. I want you to be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, and take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, there's nothing to give anybody else. So have a beautiful day. Enjoy this wonderful weather. I know I'm having. I'm going to enjoy it. And I hope whatever's happening in your world is also lovely. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.